I'm Mahdi Shaheeb Sher. My website is www.mahdishaheebsher.com. I think one of my interests in the world is Mahdi Shaheeb Sher, kind of the Muslim world and Islam at the moment. I think that Islam is kind of a repercussion of a long history of Islam that we've seen exist in the world. I think we've had Islam for over 1,500 years, is kind of almost the same period as Christianity. So it's about 500 years less than Christianity. But I think that we've kind of seen a different emergence of Islam with the end of the Ottoman Empire. I think with the end of the Ottoman Empire, we've kind of seen the last of the original Islam. And I think what we see in the world today is maybe an emergence of maybe a decayed, deprived residue of what's left of Islam with the fall of the Ottoman Empire and the Muslim world. I think that what we see with Islam today is kind of like a Saudi Arabia interpretation of Islam, which is kind of like a Wahhabi Islam. I think with Wahhabi Islam, it is a very strict, orthodox interpretation of religion and Islam, which draws on its basic fundamental teachings, perhaps in a very strict disciplinarian way. But I think that with Saudi Arabia and its kings, they do draw on kind of their own culture and situation of Islam. It's not like the prosperity of Islam during the Ottoman Empire. It is more of a flavour of an Arab Islam and a Saudi Arab Islam by Saudi Arab kings, and there's no such thing as kings in Islam. I think that's why we have Wahhabi Islam, which is some kind of witchcraft within Islam. So the culture of Islam is very orthodox. It's very different from the original peaceful teachings of Islam, which draws on understanding and compassion with people, with fellow people, shared friendship and peace and prosperity. I think the original teachings of Islam do offer a lot of peace and understanding, and a very vibrant and rich body of Islam teachings which kind of offer the full knowledge of the world, full kind of friendship of the world with a lot of purpose of friendship. I think the way Islam organizes itself within society, within its cities and nations as well, it does it in a very organized way compared to other, perhaps European countries and cities or the rest of the world. So it is very advanced as an organized society, and that I think shows the nature of Islam as maybe an intelligent and an advanced form of thinking. So I think that Islam has set some kind of precedent in the world where it's established its precedence as a intelligent power and body for intelligent thought. And we see that in Islam science with how it allows law and religious institutions within society and safety and social constructs and instruments. So in terms of society, Islam does organize itself very well. I think that it has become very dated with its long history, 1,500 years. And I think if you look at most of the world history, religions do tend to have a duration of about 2,000 years. I think most of the mainstream religions have kind of outlasted their duration and shelf life. I think most of the religions that we have today, Christianity and Islam, as large 1 billion people religions, have kind of stood on their ground for a very long period of time. And in a modern age, where they've kind of had a very simple teaching based on maybe an ancient and medieval society that they've with. I think in a modern age, they could be maybe less purposeful and useful. So I think that religion has become maybe slightly outdated with some of the modern communications we have, computers that we have, media that we have, the vast volume of ideas that we're constantly exposed to, the variety of global cultures, food, um, and ways of living that might contradict other cultures and ways of life. So I think that we are living in a fusion of people, world, and cultures with a variety of worlds and ideas. So when we come to old traditional religions and their values that cater to a medieval society, I think we are looking at maybe basic religions that have perhaps overextended them. And I think especially in 2025, the modern age that we're living at, I think that religion and especially Islam um, is finding a new challenge of having to adjust the modern expectations that people have with freedoms and liberties that we have in modern governments and democracies, but also the traditional religions and virtues that we have as people as well, as human beings, as people and human beings. So I think there has to be a balance between a mix of who we are as people and also the modern demands that people have with their standards of living and government as well. So I think that's the challenge that religion faces, and I think especially when it comes to how we follow religion, I think we do need to connect with it in a very personal way, to perhaps draw some personal meaning from it. And I think in that respect, I think reading religious books that we have offers some kind of value with the literature that they profess to the world, especially with the Quran. I think reading the Quran is a substantive form of literature. It's probably the most important book in the world. It's probably the most influential piece of literature in the world. And I think to have that privilege and to have the mind to read a piece of literature with that importance and value is kind of humbling and dignified as well. So I think that's one of the benefits of drawing on the teaching of religion. That's my view about Islam and religion. Thank you.